Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Between the Laces with DQ and Danny D. What's going on, Danny? How you doing, man? Glad to glad to have you here. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. So, anyways, today we're gonna be talking about some NFL news. Going into somewhat breaking news. Not really. It came out a couple days ago. There's officially another game added to the NFL season. That's right. 17 games. That's right. That means we're going to be hearing things like 9 and 8, 10 and 7. It's going to be kind of a little kooky at first. Can't wait to see the first team that goes 17 and 0. It's going to happen. Please don't let it be Tom Brady. Please. That's all I ask. As long as it's not Tom Brady, then we're good. How's it going, guys? Appreciate everyone being here. And as you can see, I'm by myself today, but that's all right. We're going to go and kind of jump right into it here. We're going to go over to NFL.com, where we got a list of the games that are being added. And very first one up, look at that. The Washington football team taking on my Buffalo Bills. And if there's a Mr. Ryan Morales out there watching right now, hope you know what's going to be going down, buddy. I know you know. I know you know. And the way I wanted to do this originally, if I had my handy dandy co-host with me, was I wanted to kind of not rank these games as far as 1 through 16 or whatever. What I wanted to do was kind of give them like a grade. I don't know, letter grade, number grade, some kind of grade, or maybe even just is that worth watching? Is it gonna be trash? And obviously guessing who's gonna win. So instead of going back and forth, I'll just be sitting here saying that the Buffalo Bills are gonna absolutely destroy the Washington football team. Chase who? I don't think I ever heard of him. Can you guys see that? I feel like you guys won't be able to see that if I pull it up like that. So next we got the New York Giants, Miami Dolphins. Like, for example, that's to me a garbage game. Dolphins are quiet good. I feel like people are already sleeping on the Dolphins and forgetting the year that they had last year. And I remember saying last offseason that the Dolphins were the team that I was worried about in the Buffalo Bills division, not the Patriots with Cam Newton. That shit's small, bro. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you. I pulled it back up. How about now? Is it better now? Hopefully. I mean, I can zoom in. What do you think, Joey? Buffalo Bills, Washington football team? You know. I don't even need to ask you. You know. Who's the football team's quarterback? Oh, Fitzmagic, yeah. We've beaten him. We've beaten him plenty of times. Let's not forget he was on the Jets for a while and the Dolphins as of last year. He has his moments, and you never know. Could be a week that he's on. I know that you guys have a great defense. That's for sure. Great defense. And our offensive line is definitely going to need to step it up going up against your front seven. I'll give you that. The Washington football team, Washington Redskins, I'll throw you that bone. Ryan, I know if you're out there watching, the the Redskins are a very solid defensive unit, and all they're really missing at this point is offense. I was going to say just a quarterback, but that's not true. I mean, you need a franchise quarterback, not named Dwayne Haskins. You know, let's not try to go for something like that again. Let's learn from past mistakes now. And maybe, you know, another receiver to complement McLaurin. And when I'm listing these players, I'm talking about, you know, drafting someone to be there for the future, or a guy that's young enough that you can put on a pretty decent contract and have him for a while. Anyways, let's not stick too long on this one here. New York Giants, Miami Dolphins, I already said it. Dolphins, I give the Dolphins that one all day. Daniel Jones, I feel like a lot of people have faith in him, and from what I've seen, this is not ragging on the kid. It's just my observation that he turns the ball over way too much. And the sad part is it's not even interceptions. It's not even like he's reading coverages wrong. He has negative 100 pocket presence, pocket awareness, and gets the ball stripped constantly. I've never seen a quarterback fumble the ball more. All right. Once again, thank you everybody who's being here. Joseph Rio, Riox, Ruix. Thank you so much. And everybody else who's watching. Appreciate it. Drop a comment down below if you want to in the live chat. Let me know who you think's going to be winning these games right alongside of me. So, next up, Dallas Cowboys, New England Patriots. This one here, this is actually a pretty good game. Not gonna lie. I think every time that these teams face off, didn't they just play each other? Not last year. It was what, 2 years ago was the last time our divisions faced off. The AFC East and the NFC East, I believe, was 2019. And that was actually a pretty good game. I know Tom Brady was still there, but the Patriots aren't going to be as bad as people think, and the Cowboys aren't going to be as good as people think. Dak Prescott was putting up pretty good numbers last year before he got injured, but lest we not forget, they did not have a winning record by the time he went out. So, and they almost didn't win another game if it wasn't for a really good onside kick, like a phenomenal onside kick. This one's kind of, I could toss a coin, to be honest with you. I'll give it to the Cowboys. So we got right now, it's 2-1 AFC East to NFC East. And lastly, the lowly Philadelphia Eagles and New York Jets. Both teams that represent high-flying, soaring symbols of the sky, yet both franchises at this point have sunken beneath the waves, down into the deepest crevasses that the world has ever seen. Where are you, Philly? Where are you, New York? To be fourth place in the NFC East, that's mid-range. That's mid-range on your way to the psychiatric ward to check yourself in for a little vacation. It's depressing, very depressing. I hate to even think about this game. It's kind of making me nauseous, even just picturing all that ugly green flying around. Probably something like Probably something realistically like 17-3. And I'll throw it to Philly because Jalen Hurts is going to be a decent quarterback, but their offensive line is not what it was on their Super Bowl, what it was the year that they made their Super Bowl run. And let's face it, Arcega Whiteside and friggin' who else? I don't even who. What are the other receivers that the Eagles have? Ward, right? Ward. Who else? Help me out here. Anyways, I'll give it to the Eagles though, because the Jets, unless the rookie quarterback that the Jets are going to draft, don't know who it is, not going to make those speculations yet. Going to have to tune into one of our live mock drafts if my wonderful co-host here, right by my side, would be so honored to do so. Just teasing you, Dan. Love you, buddy. But anyways, if the New York Jets rookie quarterback that they are going to end up drafting, let's say this is like scheduled slotted for like the later half of the year, maybe week 10, something like that, random week, even say week 7, and the rookie's hitting his stride, flowing. I mean, we saw pretty amazing things from Justin Herbert last year. And, rookie quarterbacks honestly are coming into the NFL now ready to play more than ever. So it's a possibility that the Jets are quiet good and could turn around and beat the Philadelphia Eagles. But I'm gonna throw that one to Philly. So rounding out the East, the Battle of the East, we got 2-2. And if you haven't noticed, I guess I should have maybe skimmed over this article a little bit. This was March 28th, a few days ago. NFL clubs today approved a virtual league meeting, blah, 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 blah. Basically, they're expanding it to 17 games. And, it's the end of the 16-game era. And now we're moving on to 17 regular season games. And the way that it's starting off, because if you don't know how the 16-game era of the NFL was scheduled and how that was operated, you would face your divisional teams twice a year, your divisional rivals. So that's 6 of your 16 games. You would face you'd face 4 teams from another division within your conference. Then you face another division in the other conference. So that would be intra-conference. And then you'd have 2 games that were interconference. Or maybe I'm saying that backwards. I don't know. Whatever. You'd have 2 games within your conference. And I believe the way that one, for years I thought it was random, but I believe the way that one was kind of how we see it here, 3 versus 3, 2 versus 2. But because it was only 2 of the 3 remaining divisions in your conference, I think that was on like a rotation. Like this year would be like the North and the South, say for the Bills, number 1. So they'd face the Steelers and the Titans, you know what I mean? Which I actually think that is who. Funny enough, I actually think those are the 2 interconference games. But anyways, and then now with the addition of this, as you can see, they're crossing conferences again for this one game. So now instead of just 4 AFC versus NFC games for each team, so 4 games versus the AFC for each NFC team, 4 games versus the NFC for each AFC team, you now have 5 for each. And the way they're starting off this rotation, which I like this fresh, you know what I mean? Keep it clean. East versus East, North versus North, South versus South, West versus West. It's beautiful. So rounding out the East, 2-2. Let me check over on the chat here. No one's here, and that's okay. But I do appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. All right. So let me click on over this. So yeah, what do you guys think about this? Let me know. Like I said, we got more games that are happening in the NFL. There was officially another game added on, and we were just going over the AFC versus the NFC Easts, and we got a 2-2 record. I had the Buffalo Bills beating the Washington Redskins. Oh, I'm sorry, the Washington football team. I had the Miami Dolphins beating the New York Giants. The New England Patriots beating the Dallas Cowboys. No, excuse me, the Cowboys beating the Patriots, and I had the Eagles beating the Jets. So I had a record of 2-2. What do you let me know what you guys think down in the comment section, down in the live chat of those games. How do you think that those are going to go? And with that, we're probably going to move on here. All right. I'm mistaken. Let's switch. I'm going to switch it on over. So I thought it was, like I mentioned, I thought it was East versus East, South versus South, but no, look. So we got the NFC West taking on the AFC North, and then obviously the AFC North taking on, the NFC North taking on the AFC West. So that's kind of peculiar. I bet you I know why. Because the NFC North is probably facing the AFC North in their 4 cross-conference games that were already scheduled for the season. I bet you any money that that's why that's scheduled like that. So yeah, it's just gonna get, these 1 games are gonna get added into the rotation, and then I believe it's gonna stay lockstep like this: 1-1, like the 1s versus the 1s, 2s versus the 2s, 3s versus the 3s. So, I have no idea we won't know what the rotation will be until like 4 years from now. But I'm just using my team as an example, and because it's the first one up here, the Buffalo Bills. So we're facing the number 1 in the NFC East this year. Next year would be the number 1 in the NFC West. The year after that, number 1 in the NFC South. The year after that, number 1 in the NFC North. And then rinse, cycle, repeat. Only time, and I just read that in order. I'm not saying that that's how it's going to go, because there will be years that the Bills are already facing the NFC West. Like, we just faced the NFC West last year. So we could face them again, a team, the number 1 or number 2, wherever we end up in the rankings of our division, we could face the NFC West's counterpart. Anyways, sorry for rambling here. Oh, we got 4 people. Look at that. I turn around and I walk away, and my numbers have doubled. Hello, welcome. Appreciate you guys for showing up. We are going over some games here, the games that were added by the NFL. AFC East versus NFC East, we had a 2-2. Now we're moving on to the NFC West versus the AFC North here. But I do want to take a second and address the chat. Let's see. No, nobody else has chatted. That's all right, guys. What are we talking here? Seattle Seahawks taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got a rematch of Super Bowl 40, ladies and gentlemen. We got a rematch. That's right. These are 2 pretty good teams. Steelers have a very solid roster. The only one big gaping weakness that they have right now is at quarterback, because as good as Ben Roethlisberger has been throughout his career, and as much as he's probably going to end up as a Hall of Famer, being a 2-time Super Bowl champion, winning a Super Bowl against the Seattle Seahawks. I believe it was either his rookie year or his second year. I want to say it was his second year in the NFL. And he's not what he used to be. He's just not what he used to be. That's the bottom line, because DQ said so. With that being said, this whole Russell Wilson spiel that's been happening in the offseason, Russell Wilson, trade, not happening, not this year. It's not going down. Seattle Seahawks are still going to be good. Russell Wilson's still going to be cooking over there in the kitchen. And, maybe, I don't know how things are over in Washington as far as COVID regulations and all that, but hopefully the 12th man, the 11th and a half man will be able to partially fill the stadium and help them out. I think that the Seattle Seahawks take that game. I think also, as laughable as their defense was at the beginning of the season, meaning the Seahawks last year, they start to kind of come into their own a little bit. They have a pretty young player. We're nearly 10 years removed from the Legion of Boom. It's definitely not the Seattle Seahawks of yesteryear's defense, but they're still coming into their own, and I have faith that they can stop old man Ben. Moving on, we got the Los Angeles Rams, Baltimore Ravens. Next. So Aaron Donald is a freak of nature. And Lamar Jackson is, I don't even know what word to use to describe Lamarvelous. I don't know. I'm just kidding. He's good. Not necessarily a solid passer, but whatever. Rams got a brand new toy. Had to trade 2 first-round picks to get it. This year's first-round pick. I feel like the Rams haven't had a pick since a decade ago when they used that first-round pick to draft Jared Goff, who they also had to trade away to get their brand new toy in Matthew Stafford. Unfortunately, at this point, what they just received in the mail from Detroit, this toy has kind of been a little broken. It's definitely been used, not in mint condition. So, was it worth it? It's too early to tell. It's too early for buyer's remorse. Can't think about it. Just got to move forward. I got the Rams going in this one too. The NFC West is a very, very solid division. It's gone from being kind of laughable to being very solid. I'm not going to lie to you. All right. What else we got going on here? What else you got? Arizona Cardinals, Cleveland Browns. Wow. Now, if this was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, this game would be at the bottom of the list. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I was supposed to be kind of ranking these games. See, this is why I need my co-host here to be helping me stay on track, man. Because, just talking to myself over here, bro. No. I'm not going to. Seahawks and Pittsburgh is going to be a good game. Ravens going to be a good game. And like I was just saying, 4 or 5 years ago, Cardinals, Browns, laughable. Get out of my face with that garbage. Not in 2021, mister. No way, Jose, if I'm even allowed to say that. Arizona Cardinals, Cleveland Browns is actually a really good matchup. I'm not going to lie. And we got 2 young quarterbacks in Baker's Mayfield and Kyler Murray's over here. I don't know. That one's got to be up there for me so far of the list that I've read. Who takes the cake in this one? I'm high up on the Cardinals. I'm not gonna lie to you. If Danny D were here, he would be able to tell you that last year I had them pegged as my Super Bowl sleeper for the NFC. I had the Chiefs and the Cardinals facing off, but as we saw, where they finish 8-8, something like that. They got a solid team around them. Picked up J.J. Watt, picked up A.J. Green. Already have DeAndre Hopkins. I don't even want to say his name. Hopkins and yeah, their defense is pretty good too. Again, one of those quiet, good defenses. You got Buda Baker back there. Good, some pretty solid linebackers. Who's that kid they drafted last year? Isaiah Simmons. That kid's a beast. But I got to give this one to Cleveland. I do. So right now we're sitting there at 2-1 NFC West. Next up, we got the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Nice. Look at that. That's what I love to see. Well, Ryan, if you're here, thank you so much. Oh, look at that. Whoa. I turn around and hey, there he is. What's going on, man? Just joined. What's up, buddy? Do you think Los Angeles Rams is a better team with the changes they've made at the quarterback position? I'm sorry, buddy. I wish I had been able to flip over to the chat here and seen this shit. Hang on 1 second, bro. Let me bring up. Because I do want to answer these questions. This is beautiful. This is exactly what I want here. Do you think the Los Angeles Rams is a better team with the changes they made at the quarterback? No. Yeah. But not necessarily because of the quarterback itself. So I think Goff is pretty good. I was just saying this to myself as I was delivering yesterday. As a matter of fact, I was saying, Goff's actually not that bad, because the guys on the radio, they're like, oh, yeah, Detroit needs a quarterback. Detroit definitely needs a quarterback. Talking about the draft and the Patriots, of course, who needs a quarterback? But to me, I'm like, how does Detroit need a quarterback? They literally just traded for Jared Goff, who's under like a massive contract extension that he had just got from the Rams a couple years ago. So that's kind of a stupid statement. I don't think Goff was bad. I think something happened after they lost the Super Bowl. The Rams lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots, where kind of like what we saw with Peterson and what's his Wentz? Yeah, Wentz there. Kind of like how it was just like a separation, maybe not to that degree. Also, Sean Payton kind of seems like an asshole. And Jared Goff also kind of seems a little prima donna-ish. So I think, to answer your question, yes, because I think the refreshed relationship with the great offensive-minded Sean McVay and a brand-new quarterback, like I was just referring to Goff as like a brand-new toy, I think it'll kind of like re-enthusiast, like, okay, so Matt, here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do this, and we're trying to do this. And like trying to like he's gonna try to sell Matt on it so hard that he's gonna buy into it himself. Like, you know what I mean? He's gonna sell it so hard that he's gonna end up like buying into it 10 times harder. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do think the Rams, but I don't think the Rams are as bad as even what their record showed last year. I mean, they were 9-7, but it's like you saw last week when I was talking to Danny D. I mean, the NFC was kind of a joke last year. You can make the playoffs at 9-7, but look, they won. Who the hell did they beat? It wasn't even like a bad team either, was it? It was who the hell did the Seahawks, right? The Seahawks. They beat the Seahawks, division rival, which, mind you, I think they faced the week before that or 2 weeks before that. Anyways, let's move on to the chat, because we are going to move on in the section here, like into what I was doing. But I do appreciate you guys showing up. Ryan, I appreciate you showing up so much. We got another chat here from my brother Joseph. I'd like to see what Lamar could do with a solidified number one wide receiver. Well, that's funny that you say that, Joseph, because I actually agree with that. Last week, I don't know if you saw, I put up a clip where Danny owes me $4. He said he's gonna give me $4. I said, you owe me $3.50, motherfucker. He said, I'll give you $4. So look at that. I'm even getting an extra 50 cents out of the deal. But I predicted the Sammy Watkins deal going to Baltimore the day before it happened. And in saying that, I said that Hollywood Brown is not what I believe to be a number one receiver. I believe he is a very solid second receiver. And Dan even said that he thinks he can be one of the best second wide receivers if they had a solid number one. And I said not only, like, I said that about Marquise Brown, but I also said that in the same breath about Sammy Watkins, that he's also at this point in his career not a number one receiver. I think even as his time as a number one in Buffalo and his time, if you could call it that, as a number one in Los Angeles, even though Robert Woods was more of a number one over there, he's not at this point, and they definitely could use a number one receiver. And yeah, I think that's a great take, Joseph. Absolutely. I think Lamar Jackson could be better, but like I said, as of right now, people knock him a little too much on the passes. The thing is, the NFL, people are so short-minded, dude. It's everybody. People are so short-minded. It's what happened last week. What happened in the playoffs? Oh, look, Lamar Jackson didn't do that good in the playoffs overall, because even though they beat the Titans, it was because they were playing solid defense, being able to shut down Derrick Henry and, being able to do just enough on offense. He did a lot with his legs as well. So Ryan says, I think the Ravens take the win over the Rams. You think the Ravens beat the Rams? Really? Yeah? Well, I don't know. Maybe. What do you have to defend that, sir? He said, also pick Cleveland Browns in this one. This is going to be Baker's breakout year. Yeah. Excuse me. Now, here's a guy with Baker. He's one of those guys where I think, like, attitude is 90% of his game. Like, meaning his attitude on, his situation. And he's been gifted a great situation over there in Cleveland. A phenomenal fucking situation. But anyways, I don't know what his ceiling is. He's one of those guys that's kind of hard to read. I feel like we've seen his floor in his sophomore slump, not 2020, but 2019. And I really, truly believe that is his floor. I don't think he's much worse than what we've seen. But his ceiling is kind of one of those things that's hard to predict, I feel like it's much easier to see the ceiling of Lamar Jackson, which is pretty high. That's not saying, oh, yeah, Lamar Jackson's not good. No, it just means, like, I think Lamar Jackson is good, and I can see him winning a Super Bowl in his career. Baker, So we got a Kevin Morales. Well, since this guy's name is Ryan Morales and the next guy's name is Kevin Morales, maybe they're related, maybe not. Maybe that's wrong of me to assume. I do apologize. Kevin Morales said, "Can I get a shout out, please?" Well, I think it just happened. Yeah, no, absolutely, buddy. Sure. Kevin Morales, especially if I am correct in my assumption, fingers crossed, that you are related to my boy Ryan here. Absolutely. Kevin Morales, go. Check him out. That's right. Pointing the finger. Do it. Do it. Do it. All right. Let's get back to the big board here and talk about the games. So, but guys, by all means, keep talking in the chat, please. I do appreciate it. I will try to, now that I know that I have some interactions happening, I'll make it a point to check back between each game. So, San Francisco and the Bengals. I didn't get to that one, did I? No, I'm sorry, I didn't. So let's round out the NFC West versus AFC North. I should have done that. My bad. 49ers Bengals, garbage, trash. This game is bottom of the barrel. Nah, you know what? You know what? You're wrong, DQ. You're wrong. Shut the fuck up. Nah, I'm wrong. This game is actually quiet, sneaky, quiet. Actually, going to be pretty good if San Francisco's defense and players on a majority scale can stay healthy, for God's sakes. If they can stay healthy, the 49ers are not a bad team. Last year, oh my God, the injury bug sat its ass over in Santa Clarita or Santa Clara, wherever the hell these motherfuckers are playing from. And the Bengals are up and coming. Joey Burrow, rookie year. He ended up getting hurt by your boy Ryan. What did he go? Number 2 overall after Joey Burrow, Chase Young. What did he snap his leg? Tore his ACL, some shit like that. But Joe Burrow is now here's a guy who is solid AF, dude. From what I seen from him coming out of college, I don't really. It's so hard to assess a quarterback coming out of college, of how it's going to translate to the NFL. Again, it's a matter of like what we were just talking about with Lamar and Baker. But yeah, I was speaking after a few years of them being in the league. It's difficult sometimes. Never mind when you've never seen them take a snap professionally. So I didn't really know what to make of Joey Burrow coming out of LSU last year. Same thing as how I feel with Trevor Lawrence this year. It's like default number 1 overall pick. Okay, fine, give it to you. You know what I mean? Just like how it was pretty much default that Chase Young was going to go number 2. Yep, makes sense, because if it wasn't for the Bengals needing a quarterback, say they already had their franchise guy, say Andy Dalton didn't fucking drive himself and the whole family Volkswagen off a cliff, they probably would have ended up drafting someone like Chase Young. So anyways, sorry, I'm going on wicked long tangents here. Anyways, Bengals also, besides Joey Burrow, had some pretty good free agency signings. I mean, last year, if they straight up plucked the 2019 cast out of the Minnesota Vikings defensive secondary and just threw them all in there. Like, you, come be a Bengal. You, come be a Bengal. And, T. Higgins was a very good rookie last year. They also got some other decent wide receivers, Tyler Boyd, but I believe they also signed another wide receiver in free agency, if I'm not mistaken. So what do you guys think? 49ers, Bengals, who you taking? Drop it in the live chat over here. I'm going, well, I mean, obviously this all depends on San Fran's QB scenario. As of right now, they're saying even if they draft a quarterback, this came out today, that even if San Fran drafts a quarterback, they're not in a hurry to move on from Jimmy G. So that means they're maybe willing to ride out at least the next year of Jimmy G's guaranteed money, because even if they trade him, they're going to have to pay fucking dead cap money to him anyways at such a mass scale. And we just saw how that hits the cap space with Philadelphia over there. You know what I mean? So Jimmy G could be the quarterback for this game, most likely. But here's the big if also. He could be on the 49ers, but he could just be sitting on the bench injured. So it could be a rookie quarterback versus second-year Joey Burrow. This one's hard to predict, guys. I'm going to give it to the Bengals. So what do we do? Do we go 2-2 again? That's what we did, right? I picked Seahawks over Steelers. I picked Rams over Ravens. I picked Browns over Cardinals, and I picked the Bengals over the 49ers. So, yep, 2-2 again. Ryan says, going back to the chat here, Ryan says, Chase Young, such a great player and leader. Next Ray Lewis, maybe. I mean, he's on your team. You would be able to tell me. You'd be able to tell me better than I could tell you as far as his leadership, the leadership roles he brings to the locker room. I can say That's yeah. I'm actually glad that you brought that up because I feel the same way about Joey Burrow, and I saw it in Chase Young too. Is like they're both hungry to be the best that they can, like at their positions, but most of all win. And that's what a lot of these younger players coming in, like they're realizing they're seeing these older guys who just 5, 6 years ago were at the top of their game. Like someone like a Luke Kuechly, for example, boom, retired, gone. That guy was so close to being a Super Bowl champion. He was there. He was right there. I mean, look, Cam Newton's right at the door, at the threshold right now. Same thing, number one overall. Oh my God, league MVP. Oh my God, they were in the. He went to a Super Bowl. Oh, if he retires next year after this year, it's done. So like players, young players coming up now are realizing, dude, I just want that. I want that ring, baby. I want that ring. And the thing about it, that still till this day, 56 years going for Lombardis and Super Bowl rings, that drives it is because out of all the thousands of players that play, or and hundreds of players that play in the NFL every year, only 53 of them motherfuckers get that ring. 53. Now, I ain't no math whiz. Joseph, you might want to come on here in the chat and help me out, do some equations. But 53 out of, I think every year it's like at least 1,200, 1,300, something like that. The percentage, you know what I mean? And then just like anything else, just like with life, time flies, man. Josh Allen's already going to do his fourth year. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, Josh Allen's already going to do his fourth year, bro. Like, what? Next year he'll be half a decade into his career, dude. If he don't win a Super Bowl by the end of his fifth year, the pressure's on from him. Not like obviously, yeah, from the fans, whatever. That's all the outside noise bullshit. No, but like in his mind. But anyways, so like I said, sorry, long ass tangents here. Chase Young, like I said in interviews, I did see, yeah, he has that hunger in him. Ryan's picking the Bengals right alongside with me. Joey says, I got the Bengals too. Joey B was balling before the injury. Yes, absolutely. Joey B was balling, Joseph. Absolutely. All right, you guys ready to move on to the next division? Let's do it. Let's move on to the next battles we got here. So we got, wow, I can't believe I'm already like 40 something minutes into this shit. Yo, you four motherfuckers that are watching right now, you guys are the real ride or die motherfuckers. You're the real ones. I appreciate you guys being here so much. You don't even know it, dude. 10:50 at night. Anyways, enough gushing over you bastards. NFC South, AFC South. We got Nolans Saints versus the Tennessee Titans, baby. Derrick Henry, King Henry, New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints, I'm sorry, guys. You guys are going to realize, just like the Patriots, but obviously a little, it's going to hurt. Not even a little, it's going to hurt a lot less than the Patriots because, you know, you didn't win fucking 6 Super Bowls in the last 20 years. You only won 1 in the last 15, but ever. But Drew Brees is gone. I don't know if you got the memo, Saints fans, but he is gone. And I know Taysom Hill is there, but breaking news, Taysom Hill isn't a quarterback. He's kind of like, I don't even know what he is, dude. He's like a quarterback / tight end / fullback / special teamer / running back / wide receiver / fucking probably long snapper. I mean, if the kicker got hurt, he'd probably come out and emergency freaking kick it. Or at the very least, emergency punt it. Anyways, God forbid they both went down. Point is, Saints fans, it's over. Just like Patriots fans, it's over. Oh, no, yeah. Next year, it's going to be 1 rebuilding year, 2 rebuilding years. Ha, 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 ha. Welcome to the bottom, bitches. 20, 25, 30. Not yards, son. Years. That's what you're looking at, son. 25 years at the bottom. You think you can just turn around like that? Maybe you can. Who knows? Maybe if the Patriots win a Super Bowl in 2030, randomly, sporadically, as their garbage every year before then and garbage every year after then. They just spend the whole boatload just to go on that one championship run. When Tom Brady signs back for them at the age of 65 years old to go run for one more. What should we call that one? Never mind. Shut the fuck up. We'll get to Tom Brady next. Do I even gotta say any more Titans, dude? Titans. This game's gonna be garbage. I was just building all that up just to say that this game's gonna be absolute garbage. Titans are gonna fucking destroy them. King Henry, Ryan Tannehill ain't no bitch. Again, one of these teams that the defense is super quiet, solid. Tennessee Titans defense is not bad by any means. All right. What do you guys think? Let's switch over. Who do we got? Who do we got? We got squares. I like it. I like the squares. And we got, where's that? Massachusetts mirror image reversed? No, I'm just kidding. It kind of looks like it though. The fist kind of looks like the hook of the cape. That's funny. All right. Who you guys got? No, nobody? Nobody wants to step up? Do I gotta bet 350? Titans. I bet 350 on the Titans. Come on. Put your money on New Orleans. No, I'm just kidding. All right, fine. I get it. Yeah, the game's trash. That's like I said, the game's trash. So I don't blame you guys for not wanting to pick it. All right. We got the Stupid Bowl champions, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, versus the Indianapolis Colts. This is another good game. Colts, good team. That's a good team. Carson Wentz, again, I think this is gonna kind of round back to what I was saying about Jared Goff. To a lesser degree, though, to me personally, I think. Oh, see, I'm about to go on one of my tangents here. Before I get into that, this is a good game. You understand me? Who am I picking? Well, obviously, I got to see how Wentz looks reunited with his former offensive coordinator, Frank Reich, before I can give like a true good assessment of that. But Tampa Bay Buccaneers did something historical. And, of course, it had to be the team that fucking Tom Brady is a part of. You know what I mean? Of course, because why not? But they re-signed all 22 of their starters. So when all these players say, oh, run it back, let's run it back because they're the only motherfucker that re-signed with the team for lesser money. Well, in this instance, the Buccaneers are literally running it back. Like the entire busload, the entire pirate ship full of Gronks and all, except they left AB on the shore. Ryan, you're talking about black sails, bro. They left AB on that island, bro, with the prostitutes, dude. He's gonna be throwing bags of dicks at him. He's a dick. All right. I'm getting off here. I'm getting a little off track here. Freaking. So before I get into that real quick, with Carson Wentz, there was a time where I saw his ceiling was astronomical, in my opinion, to be honest with you. The year that Carson Wentz got injured, the year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl with fucking Big Dick Nick as their quarterback, because Wentz went down with an injury, I thought the sky was the limit for that kid. To be honest with you, especially because they went and won the Super Bowl with their backup quarterback, I truly believe that if Carson Wentz stayed in that year, he would have won the MVP because he was on track to, and they still would have won that Super Bowl. That's how high I think Carson Wentz's ceiling is a Super Bowl champion, even though he technically is a Super Bowl champion. But, when it comes to the history books, let's look at it. There's a little asterisk next to that, on the bench. Oh, that's like me. Like my freshman football team won state championships, Division II, Mount Hope High School, but my fucking coach, even though I had played in every single game, regular season and playoffs, did not put me in for a single snap of the championship game. So every time I'm like, yeah, my team won states freshman year. I'm like, but then I think about it and I know deep down in my soul, I'm like, yeah, but you didn't do anything. It's all right, though. It's all right. How the fuck did I get on? How did I get on that? Oh, Wentz. But since the injury, sorry, see, this is what happens. Since the injury, that ceiling has significantly collapsed. Like, significantly. Again, he could have some kind of career revival with Reich over there. But I think injuries since that day that he got injured out in Los Angeles against the Rams, and I'll never forget because I remember it happening. I remember saying, dude, you are an idiot for diving for that touchdown. There was absolutely no need to. Anyways. So his ceiling has gone down significantly, and I think injuries play a huge role in it now. A huge role in it. Oh, I skipped one. So Ryan agrees Titans, right? Titans, right? Right. Bucks repeating? Question mark? Are the Bucks repeating? Bucks aren't even going to the fucking Super Bowl, dude. No. The answer is no. I don't even want to go on a whole tangent about that. Bro, they went 11-5. See, Tom Brady's a fucking genius, dude. Tom Brady's a genius because he knows he went to the NFC, one, because he's looking around and he knows, even though he went to what was one of the better divisions of the conference a few years ago, is kind of falling off the cliff. I mean, yeah, he had to face Drew Brees twice a year, who has, even though is years younger than Tom Brady, is not been as healthy throughout his career, has dealt with injuries since early on in his career. So he's kind of beaten, battered, and broken, a former shadow of himself, if you will. So, okay, you got old man Brees, you got ice cold, fucking ice cold, hit the brakes Ryan down in Atlanta, and then who over in Carolina, right? No offense, Ryan, but he beat Taylor Heineke in the fucking football team. And then who did he beat? I don't even remember. Who did the Buccaneers beat after that? The Rams? No, the Packers beat the Rams. Who the fuck did the Buccaneers face? The Saints? The Saints. I literally just went over beaten, broken, battered, and bloodied fucking Drew Brees. I mean, it was literally couldn't have been a better scenario, right? And then NFC Championship game, great game between two really good teams, legends in their own right. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Tampa Bay, Green Bay. I mean, the NFL literally couldn't have had a better wet dream and woke up with sticky underwear. I mean, if they had imagined it, if they had tried to conceive it, right? And what happens? You tell me. Did you watch the game? Because I watched the game, and I'll tell you exactly what happens. Holdings, defensive holdings, all game long, all game, and the refs didn't call it, which is beautiful. Benefico, I love it. Couldn't have been any better, right? They're letting them play. Can you fucking believe it? Holy shit. They're actually letting them play. And then what? And then what? Fourth and goal. Oh, no, fourth down in the fourth quarter, around 2 minutes left, maybe under 2 minutes left. Now they call a holding, which wasn't even one of the most egregious holdings in the entire game. He held. He did hold. He grabbed homie's jersey. Like at the last second, he grabbed homie's jersey. Dude, Murphy Bunting got an interception when freaking he was literally grabbing Lazard's arm. He was arm barring Lazard and then let go of him to catch the ball as the ball got there. Anyways, see what you made me do, Ryan? Do you see what you made me do? No, the Bucks aren't repeating. All right. He said we almost had them, referring to the football team. This guy's a fan of the football team. Ryan, I'm a fan of a football team too. See? They're called the Buffalo Bills. We have a name. But anyways, I'm busting your balls. And then he said, "Yep, Saints kickers. Saints kicked their ass in regular seasons twice. Saints did kick their ass in the regular season twice, but guess what? Regular season don't mean dick. When it comes down to it, like regular season only matters as far as who are you going to face when it comes to the postseason, as far as the scheduling, the seedings, the rankings, right? That's about the only thing the regular season matters, because from that point on, in the postseason, do or die, baby. Do or die. All right, let's move on. I love you guys. He said, "No, I am a Redskins fan." You're gonna get me blocked on here, bro. I've been dropping so many R words, dude. I mean, they're gonna start labeling me as a different kind of R word, bro. You can't say that. You can't say that. All right, get my ugly fucking mug off of here. So what are we? Did I pick anything for the Bucks and the Colts? No. I don't think I did. Well, I'm picking the Bucks. Man, I suck at this. I suck at this alone. Danny, you suck. Where are you, you fucker? Anyways, so I picked the Titans over the Saints. I'm gonna pick the Bucks over the Colts, despite the whole Wentz tangent there. Next up, oh God, we got some garbage pail kids coming to town. Carolina Panthers. Yeah. Versus the Houston Texans. More like the fucking Houston Clown Show. I can't tell if they're running a football team or a Christian Bible study camp down there. Yeah. So, horrible game. That's it. That is ranking. Wish it didn't exist. Wish it didn't happen. Kind of wish I could have a time machine to go back in time and erase the Houston Texans from ever being a franchise team. I'd also probably keep the Oilers in Houston. Sorry, Titans. Go fuck yourselves. Panthers. Panthers. Yeah. Quarterback, question mark. Teddy Bridgewater, they kind of like shitting on him. They also have a high pick, so they might draft a quarterback, and Teddy's career could kind of be in jeopardy as far as starting opportunities. You know, he's had his chances. Well, not really, because you can't count 2019, even though he played, 5 or 6 games for them, and went 5 or 6-0, something like that. That's not a whole season. So he really he hasn't had much of a chance to start, to be honest with you, because that literally was going in there as a backup, and there's a big difference for starting a stretch of games as a backup and going into a season as a starter, such as he did for the Carolina Panthers last year, and is supposed to right now. Barring if they get a rookie quarterback. But the Panthers, and obviously a lot hinges on McCaffrey coming back, being healthy. but also McCaffrey at this point, when it comes to running backs getting injuries, even like Saquon Barkley comes to mind. Who knows? They could literally be out multiple games a year every year for the rest of their fucking career. Or they could. Some of these guys should be a little smarter than that and realize already if they take a little extended time off, maybe as much as they don't want to, closer to half of this season coming up, the first half of this season coming up, they could come back by week 8, 9, something. And they could have came back at week 1 because they physically they literally could have, but those extra 7 weeks of healing only makes it stronger. The faster you get in there, the more likely you are to be injured. Panthers. I give her the Panthers. Fuck the Texans. They're a shit show. I don't even want to talk about them. Literally don't even want to talk about them. Don't even want to acknowledge them as a team. So Titans, Buccaneers, Panthers. Next up. Oh my God. Garbage. This is what we're dealing with here, ladies and gentlemen. We're dealing with the Atlanta freaking Falcons and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay. Trevor Lawrence, yeah. Matt Ryan, yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, they got a new head coach too. Who the fuck is their head coach? Someone want to drop that down in the chat there? Who the hell is the Falcons? Who's the Falcons head coach? I don't even know. Ryan says Redskins matter. Hey, do they though? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Don't ban me. Don't ban my video, please. All right, Falcons, Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is coveted. Matt Ryan isn't as garbage as everybody says he is. He's still pretty good quarterback. Julio Jones is still there. Calvin Ridley is still there. From what I'm hearing, they could even draft another fucking wide receiver. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised. Or that kid Kyle Pitts is sitting there ripe for the taking for them. That kid's like a wide receiver, tight end hybrid. I don't even know. You could probably line him up. Some plays on the end of the line to go over the fucking middle, or you could friggin' line him out wide maybe. I don't even know. Jacksonville, Atlanta. Atlanta's defense is still absolute garbage. And depending on when this is scheduled, who knows? Like Joseph said about Joey Burrow, he was balling out. Trevor Lawrence could be balling out at the beginning of the 2021 season. I'm gonna give it to Jacksonville just because there's been so many years I've had such faith in a not so different Atlanta Falcons roster. They've stayed fairly same they've done a good job of keeping very similar personnel groupings over the last half a decade or more maybe. And this team has gone as far as the Super Bowl, gone as far as winning 28-3 in the end of the third quarter of Super Bowl. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have much faith. It's hard for me to do that. Ryan says, did the Falcons finish the year strong? I feel like they were winning a few games towards the end. They kind of shot themselves in the foot. They did. They won. They won a couple, I believe, in like the middle of the year after like a very solid losing streak. And then they lost more. And then I believe they finished the end of the year winning like 4 of their last 6 maybe or something like that, 4 of their last 7. What else did Ryan say? Ryan says maybe this head coach Arthur Smith can help them bring the best out in them. Arthur Smith, Oh, maybe this new head coach, Arthur Smith. Oh, thank you for answering who the head coach is. I don't know who Arthur Smith is. Maybe he can. Um, Sometimes that is what it takes, is just a change in leadership. You know what I mean? But also, I think it has a lot to do with. I think it also has a lot to do with drafting, like who is making the decisions on draft day. If the coach has a heavy hand in that, then yeah, he probably deserves to go. A lot of times, there's some coaches who, it's not even that they don't want to be, it's not even that they want to be like hands off or anything like that. It's that literally the owner might trump them and give more power, like veto them and give more power to the GM when it comes to the war room. And in those instances, I feel like it's the GMs that should be fired. In a lot of cases, in these quote unquote, like, you know, management rebuilds, they'll get rid of both. They'll can both the head coach and shortly after the general manager. But which I believe is the case with this one also. Anyways, we're rounding out the end here, which is okay because I've been over an hour now, and I do appreciate everyone who stopped by. Thank you all so much. So last but not least, look at that. Rematch of the first Super Bowl ever. Super Bowl 1. Green Bay Packers. Kansas City Chiefs. We had a team that, as we discussed, got dominated by the referees in the fourth quarter of the NFC Championship game last year, helping propel the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go on and defeat these Kansas City Chiefs over in the AFC West. This is a great matchup. Great. It's up there. It's up there with Browns Cardinals. It's up there with, like I said, the quiet 49ers Bengals matchup. I think, in my opinion, above the Tampa Bay and Indianapolis game, it might actually be the top. To be honest with you, looking at it, it could be the top of the totem pole. I would say that Arizona Cleveland game is probably a close second, in my opinion. So we got the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, he's probably going to be gone after this year. Let's admit it. Meaning gone from Green Bay. I don't think he's done in the NFL by any means. But let's be honest, they drafted Jordan Love last season, and you don't draft a rookie quarterback with the means of having to trade him or just let him walk away, having sat on the benches the entirety of his rookie contract, or trading him away like someone named Jimmy Garoppolo, right? How stupid did Bill Belichick feel? I'm probably not so stupid. He went and won like 2 more Super Bowls, but it's okay. And the Kansas City Chiefs are the Kansas City Chiefs, but the Buccaneers showed the world in the Super Bowl what to do to tame the beast, the fucking asshole of Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. That's right. I said it. The asshole. Right on the map. And that's pass rushing him with 4. You got to get there with 4 and drop the rest of the 7 motherfuckers in coverage, and hope to God that your guys are fast enough to get there before he pulls some freaking rabbit out of his hat. And because of cap casualties, because you can't pay a freaking yacht full of money to your quarterback and your wide receiver and your tight end and your superstar defensive end and your superstar safety and keep everybody. Someone had to go, and in this case, it was the starting tackles, both left and right. That's right, you heard me correctly. Left tackle, right tackle, gone. And I know they signed a couple of tackles, but I can't even think of the names right now, and I'll tell you whoever it was. it was a downgrade because Eric Fisher was pretty damn solid. And Mitchell Schwartz wasn't bad himself. So it might be a little bit easier to contain the Kansas City Chiefs. That's why I'm going Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers. Yes, I am. That's right. You heard it here. Go Pack, go. So, Joseph Rio. Hi, Dylan. Haley. Oh, hey, Haley. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Joey's AFK right now. All right. Switch back over to my ugly mug real quick. Drag this out a little bit longer because I'm getting towards the end there. But I was thinking about doing some what I'm doing right now because I didn't know that I could bring up the windows like this, right? I'm thinking about doing some live scouting with me and Danny D. Either bringing it up full screen and watching, and then bringing it back down like this, or like this when after we're done watching the clips. And I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little insight. Sorry about that. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little insight as to how I scout players and how I recommend doing it. Mind you, I'm no professional scout and I'm no one of these YouTube scouting channels, but I'd like to be. I do my own personal scouting pretty much every year. I've slacked on it hard this year, but that's why instead of going and watching these films, watching these game films, watching hours, because it could literally be hours. I mean, I could have done that this entire time and for another hour longer, which isn't bad content. But instead of doing all that for hours and then coming back and being like, oh, yeah, I think they're going to draft this guy, or I think this guy's good, or I like him better at this position than I like this guy who they have ranked higher in the same position, and blah, 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 right? Instead of doing all that, do it live. Live. All right. Screw me. I'm going home. No, we got 2 more games to go over. 3 more games, sorry. Chicago Bears, Las Vegas Raiders. Lest we not forget, Chicago Bears made it to the NFC playoffs last year with an 8-8 record as the 7th seed. Because the NFC is garbage. Garbage. Meanwhile, the Raiders, I think, were like 10-6 or 9-7, and they got their asses booted out. I think they were like even 2 or 3 seeds away from crossing the finish line. This is not a good game. This is not a good game. Bears have already announced and dedicated Andy Dalton to be their starter. And nothing against Andy Dalton. I think he's solid for a backup. I think he's the guy that I would want, other than maybe Mitch Trubisky, to be on my bench behind my starting quarterback. Shout out Mitch. Then we got the Las Vegas Raiders. You know, you got Henry Ruggs, you got Jacobs, you got Carr. Their offensive line is solid as hell. They got other good receivers there. Oh, who could forget about Waller? Nasty tight end. But the Raiders defense is caca, poo-poo, all across the board. And we got some, a few years ago, big names taken pretty high. Cleveland Farrell, that other kid, what the fuck is his name? I can't even think of his name, dude. He's a cornerback. And, Mullins. Trayvon Mullins, dude. All these guys, I just see, like, such lack of effort. I don't know. To me, the Gruden experiment it's reaching its dusk, excuse me. It's reaching its dusk. The twilight of its career here. So I'm going with the Raiders, despite what I just said. I'm going with the Raiders over the Bears. Because Bears, it's like literally polar opposites. Bears have a good defense, not that good of offense. Raiders have a good offense, not that good of defense. And when it comes down to it, defense does win championships. But Raiders, yeah, I'm not even going to say anymore. I'm just going Raiders. What do you guys think? Huh? Nothing. You don't think nothing. All right. Minnesota Vikings, Los Angeles Chargers. This isn't a bad game. Vikings are very underachieving franchise at this point with Kirk Cousins as their quarterback. Dalvin Cook to me is more of the face of the franchise. And yeah, I know their offensive line struggled last year. Obviously, Justin Jefferson is a solid weapon. Irv Smith is good. They got Thielen still. They're not bad, and their defense is like has its holes. What was once a few years ago a really good defensive line with the likes of like Linval Joseph and freaking help me out here. I can't remember. But you know those guys are gone now. If I could talk, that'd be great. Danielle Hunter came in last year for like what was it, Joey? 4 games, something like that, before he got traded to. No, not Danielle Hunter. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm sorry, I'm retarded. My bad. Not Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter. I was thinking about Danielle Hunter is a good player on your defensive line. I was thinking about Yannick Ngakoue. My bad. Yannick Ngakoue came over last year from Jacksonville, but that didn't last very long. And then you guys ended up trading him. The Vikings ended up trading him to the Ravens. Now I think he might actually be on the Raiders, to be honest with you. I saw that he signed somewhere. Anyways, and then Chargers, Justin Herbert's going to have a breakout year, or at least I don't think he's going to hit a sophomore slump. I think he's going to do really good. And as good as Herbert did last year, the Chargers had a pretty bad record, hence, being number 3 in the AFC West. But I don't think it was that bad, was it? What were they, like 7-9 maybe? Was it? Might not have actually been that terrible. With this one, I'm gonna go Chargers, simply because I think Herbert's just gonna light it up against the Minnesota Vikings defense and go ham. And yeah, Kirk Cousins is mediocre at best. So giving that one over to the Chargers there. And then last but not least, we got Detroit Lions, Denver Broncos. Oh, excuse me. This is yeah. It's not necessarily a good game. Not necessarily a bad game. I wouldn't want to watch it personally, but if it was on Red Zone in like 2 or 3 times that teams actually got into the red zone, I'd watch it, but you never know. I mean, Detroit has Jared Goff coming in, so who the hell knows? Denver, they are not necessarily committed to Drew Lock, yet there's nothing necessarily pointing to them moving away from Drew Lock. So who knows? So Joey, I was talking about the Vikings. He said Yannick Ngakoue played 4 games and was still our sack leader at the end of the year. Without Hunter, we had no pass rush. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. That's actually very, very sad. That's why I picked the Chargers to beat you guys, because exactly that. You signed a defensive lineman though, didn't you? Doesn't matter. You're still losing. All right. So yeah, Broncos, Lions. God. Again, this is one of those ones Like the Cowboys, Patriots, I feel like you could flip a coin for. Not Cowboys, Patriots. What was it? Eagles, Jets. I don't even remember. One of them I said you could flip a coin for. I couldn't tell. Um, I don't know. Help me out here. You guys pick. I'm sick of picking over here. Lions or Broncos? Who's it gonna be? I'll go with whatever you say. We cited. Oh, Joey's talking about the Vikings again. Sign a defensive tackle, not an edge rusher. Well, yeah, but defensive. I mean, no, I get what you're saying because defensive tackle is more just to be a body in the middle. But I mean, you know, you could get pressure up the middle, or at least have that guy be really good at getting the double team and then sending a linebacker on a blitz or safety on a blitz. Fuck it, send them all on a blitz. Engage 8. Never engage 8. Don't do it. Ryan Morales, there he is. Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh my. Okay. I believe you. Just gotta hope for a little more reasoning behind it, but it's all right. I fucks with it. The Lions, you got the Lions. I got you. I don't know, man. I don't know. To me, that's kind of a difficult one to peg. I'll pick somebody though. I'll say the Broncos, and it's not because you said the Lions. It's just because I like Drew Lock. Again, quarterback, hard to read the ceiling with him. I think my personal ceiling for him is higher than what most people put on him, but I don't think. I think what I would like to see for Drew Lock is a lot higher than the real ceiling that is probably on over his head, because Broncos are not really. They got solid pieces, dude. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's good. Courtland Sutton's good. Their defense, I mean, if fucking Von Miller can stay out of burning down national parks or whatever the hell park rangers were after him for when they dropped the charges. Him and Bradley Chubb, on one on one side, one on the other side. That would be awesome. I don't think we've seen the full potential of that. I know Chubb's rookie year, Miller played a majority of it, but also it was Chubb's rookie year. I feel like he did a lot better. But when did he get drafted? 2018, right? So I feel like he did a lot better 2019, 2020. Because Von Miller didn't even really do that good in 2019, and then he got hurt in 2020. So I don't know. All right. Well, that's the 16, 17 games. I'm gonna wrap that up for that, but I don't necessarily have to go. What I wanted to ask you guys was any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to chit chat bullshit about. If you guys are still down to hang out, drop the comments. I'm now here looking at the live chat as it's coming in. So I'm literally just kind of on standby, seeing if you guys got anything for me. I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you guys being here, by the way. It means a huge deal to me. I sent this link out to quite a few people. And let's just say there's 2 people watching right now, and you are it. So, Joseph, here we go. Lock's got some nice weapons to throw to. Sutton, Fant, Jude, Hamler. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Hamler. Tim Patrick, pretty nice. So if he doesn't show out this year, he's probably done. Yeah, the And the Broncos have drafted linemen, offensive linemen, pretty high too. But from my understanding of what I've seen from the numbers, it doesn't seem like seems like some of those guys aren't like they were overdrafted, like they shouldn't have been first round picks. Kind of a little busty, if you want to call them that. Ryan says, wasn't there an update to the rules on replay? I think that there was proposals. Is this something that happened just a few days ago? Like literally within the last few days since the owners meeting on March 28th? Or you're talking about something that you heard like a couple months ago? Or like beginning of March? Because there was things floating around that teams were proposing. One of them, I believe, was, what the fuck was it? It was like to be able to challenge something, or like I know Bill Belichick wants to be able to challenge everything, which I agree. You should be able to challenge everything. Oh, that's what it was. They proposed to be able to challenge roughing the passer penalties and like roughing the passer penalties. Oh, and there was also proposals to have a guy in the replay in the booth there, like a replay official up in the stands, like they were doing at the XFL, who would maybe call like down to the field and be like, oh, hey, you missed blah, blah, blah on this play. You know what I mean? Like call a stoppage to the game. That might be what you're talking about. I'll say this for the XFL. I don't know if you checked out the XFL at all when they were around before, the fucking economic collapse of 2020. That was 2020. But they had this one of the coolest takeaways, I think, of the whole league was they showed the replay booth. First of all, they had exactly what was proposed there, which was an replay official, another official added to the replay, another official added to the crew of officials, specifically to be up in the booth, like I said, calling down, hey, you missed that, or, oh, that wasn't a penalty, whatever, like challenges, how they review it, instead of it all going and being centralized in New York and all just being called into Al Riveron's fucking office, it going to a official on site. But the cool thing that the XFL did was they had cameras in that booth, and they had first of all, they had all the refs mic'd up so you could hear inside the referee huddles, which was pretty cool what they were talking about. Oh, this was a penalty, that was a penalty, blah, 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 blah. But then when it came to the challenges, you would see they would have a split screen between the official down on the field under the hood watching the player or whatever, watching on a tablet. And then, oh, no, that's right. The guy on the field would just be standing there. It was just the guy up top was watching the play over and over again. They actually had like Xbox controllers, and he was rewinding it, and he's just watching the play over and over and over again. And he's telling them, okay, so we got this, we got 1 foot down, we got 2 feet down, a football move. Okay, yep. And dude, it's such transparency between the officiating crew and the league itself, and how these decisions are being made real time in the game, and the fans. And to me, that's something that the league, the NFL, should heavily consider implementing, especially when it comes to these controversial calls. And instead of saying, oops, we fucked up, oh, sorry, after the game, when all is said and done, and somebody's going to the Super Bowl versus somebody else, or somebody's winning the Super Bowl versus somebody else because of these missed calls or bullshit calls, or you know what I mean? Failures to stop, missed things that they should stop and be like, hey, What the fuck was that? For example, Chris Jones punching John Feliciano right in the side of the fucking head in the AFC Championship game, but the refs just didn't see it. For some reason, they just so happened to not see it, but they saw Josh Allen throw the ball at fucking whoever Okafor's face though when after he got sacked towards the end of the game, right? Anyways, that would be huge because then the league wouldn't have to defend itself. They could see, the fans could see the process behind the decisions being made instead of being like, that's fucking bullshit. That's bullshit. What are they? Think about it. How many times you see they're watching it over and over and over and over and over again, and you're literally watching it over and over again with them, and you're like, dude, why are we watching it? It's so clear that it's this. And then they come back and they go, oh, that was not by rule. That was not a catch. And you're like, what? How? That doesn't even make any sense. Well, at the very least, those cameras being in that booth and that guy being in that booth would eliminate that question of how. You might still disagree, like, no, that's bullshit. You're wrong. You're an idiot, blah, blah, blah. But at least you wouldn't be sitting there scratching your head like how? It doesn't even make any sense. You'd get an insight into just that, how they came to this conclusion, even if you disagreed with the end result. And to me, the NFL's missing out on doing shit like that, bro. I was just reading the headline on ESPN this morning. Oh, okay. Yeah, that might be something that I missed. But I didn't read the full thing, just the headline. Yeah, that might have been something that I didn't catch when I was working this morning. There, that's definitely a possibility. But like I just said, I think that they should implement that from the XFL. If I was to be able to sit in on a freaking fly on the wall, a little maybe whisper in the ear of one of the owners, that's going to be one of the things that I would propose is transparency between the league and the calls that are being made that affect the game. Like, for example, I think one of the things I would propose that maybe because I think that hold in the NFC Championship game was one of the things that they wanted to be able to challenge, at the very least, to be able to challenge. Because 2019, they were able to challenge whether or not there was pass interference, right? And then they canned it because whatever. Well, now I think they want to They want to be able to challenge, the fucking what do you call it? Anything, basically. Penalties called that shouldn't have been called, or penalties that weren't called that should have been called. Because as of right now, you can't challenge penalties. So that's one of the things that I know that they proposed, and I know Bill Belichick was someone that proposed. Ryan says, yeah, I agree. That's something the NFL totally needs, that transparency. Yeah, man, no. Like I said, I don't know if you ever checked that out, the XFL out when it was around last year. But I mean, it's up on YouTube and shit, all like the clips. And I think they have some. You should just check it out. It's pretty cool where, like I said, the guy is, you see it. He's talking to the ref down the field, telling him what he sees. Yep. 1 foot down, 2 foot down, football catch. Probably something similar that happens when the asshole in the NFL is under the hood talking to Al Riveron's office. But why do we have one jabroni and his fucking cronies sitting in some tower in fucking New York City watching every game on a monitor, right? Phone's probably ringing off the hook. You think the phone's ringing off the hook at Domino's, dude? At least we got the online order app, bro. These motherfuckers sitting over here, they got no choice but to call in, dude. Phone's ringing off the hook. Yep, what do you got? Yeah, so, my eyes don't work. Was that a catch? If they have the ball and they get 2 feet down and they reach the ball over the goal line, but then drop the ball. That's a fumble, right? Right? Sorry, I'm just being an asshole. All right. Well, I went for an hour and 35 minutes solid here. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. It's getting close to midnight. We got two people watching. I know Ryan Morales is here. My brother Joseph was watching. He dropped out, I believe, but he might be back. If that is the case, I appreciate you, Joey. Appreciate you, Ryan. Appreciate you. What was your boy's name, Ryan? Kevin? Keto? Kevin? Tito? Kevin. Ah, see? I got it right the fucking first time. Excuse me. Thank you, Kevin Morales, stopping by. Another shout out for you. Go check out Kevin Morales over on YouTube. Subscribe or else. But yeah, I think that about covers it, guys. I do apologize for doing this one all alone. I know it's not the usual back and flow bullshit banter pace that I got going with my good friend Danny D, but getting that motherfucker on the line is like trying to get Godzilla over to King Kong over to Tokyo to fight Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I don't know. Everybody keeps talking about that fucking movie. I have yet to watch any of those movies in that series, and I probably won't. So, don't really care. You know how I feel about CGI. Y'all know how I feel. Anyways, this is about football, not movies. But my point was, I do apologize for the change of pace that we had here. Like I said, normally Danny and I are going back and forth. And Danny, if you did watch this, if you do watch this, screw you, man. Fuck yourself, you bastard. All right, guys. You're all beautiful people. I love you all so much. And with that, I'm going to say good night and hope you all have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of your Friday nights while there's still 15 minutes left. And drink one for me, and while you're at it, smoke one for me too. Why don't you? All right, guys. Good night, man.